I remember you telling me, again, you didn't think you were going to get it, which I think is something that you shared too, Hayden, right? You thought this was not going to happen for you.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no, I didn't think it was a hoax, but I didn't think that there was any chance I was going to get this role. I met with the casting director, Robin Gerland, amazing woman, and then I got to go in and meet George Lucas at the Skywalker Ranch, and again, I sort of went in with no concept that this would actually go my way. I was just really excited to go and meet George Lucas, and I was hoping to just get like a souvenir from the ranch or something. And the meeting went well enough. He was really nice, and then I got to go back and audition with Natalie, and then a few days later I got one of the best phone calls of my life.
It doesn't always work out that way. And Hayden, you were fresh off of playing Vader, the Vader side of this character in the Obi-Wan Kenobi series, and I remember you telling me you were excited to play that side because you were so steeped in Anakin's personality and his world before his turn, but you got to indulge the dark side, and then you play this version of Anakin Skywalker in the world between worlds, who's, I think it's fair to say the audience isn't meant to know whether he's real or not, or whether that's in her head, or whether he's a Force ghost. Tell us about what your thoughts were as you played this character. What was this entity in your mind?
Yeah, I remember our first phone call, or our Zoom call when you were first telling me about your vision for this, and you asked me if I knew what the world between worlds was, and I said, yeah, I do. And I was just instantly really excited because it just creatively opened us up a lot in terms of what we could do with the character. Anakin he goes through a lot in his life, and in the prequels, he's very emotional character. But in this is a post-life version of the character, and so he's aware of all of those things, but he's not emotionally beholden to those things either. So we could present just a slightly different slant on the character, and I was all game for that, and then getting to explore sort of Clone Wars era Anakin was something that I was also really excited about, because I remember even before you guys did the show, I remember George telling me about the Clone Wars when we were getting ready to do Revenge of the Sith, and just sort of filling me in on all the sort of backstory and how Anakin fought in the Clone Wars, and he was this great warrior and a decorated general, and I remember just thinking, like, wow, that sounds really cool. It'd be nice to see some of that.
Maybe we can make a movie out of that.
Yeah. And then I loved what you guys did in the animated world, and so to get to sort of get our feet wet with that in live action was just a real privilege.
Hayden, how did you guys discuss what was the thinking that went into the look of this character, who is not necessarily real, but how do you decide how he appears?
The Anakin costume is consistent from what we know before, but getting to create the Clone Wars costume, I was delighted by, and I thought she did such a wonderful job, and I was just really thankful to get to meet her and work with her. I think the costume design in Star Wars is such an incredible creative expression, so specific and so detailed. And I was so impressed by her as a creative person, and she just had such a life force to her. It was always a pleasure to be around.